seen it, or, his new sitcom, if that comes up, and anything else you've seen him in. And we look forward to getting more movies or whatever you come up with, and you'll come back on our show and you'll talk about them, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. I mean, I'll come back anytime.
Thank you. And there's
awesome.
a Facebook page, too. So if you go to facebook.com/Language of a Broken Heart Film, you'll find it. Like the page. Let them know that there's a lot of fans out there.
Yes,
and thank
definitely.
you so much, Juddy, for joining us tonight. We really appreciate you taking the time out to talk with us.
Of course. Thank you. It was a pleasure. Come on.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're sweet.
Thank you very much.
All right. Talk to you guys soon.
Have a good
All
night.
right, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, that definitely needs to get out to all states and even, around the world. It's such a funny movie, and if you're laughing so hard at just watching the trailer, you can imagine what parts you didn't see yet.
Oh, I know. I really hope it makes it to, all over the U.S. so that we can go see it because, wow, it's one of those that'd be a shame if it didn't. Because it's just a great one, and I love a romantic comedy anyway. It's my favorite comedy to watch, and there's always such a good story, and there's always a good ending, and so that is, that's just the kind of movie that I love to. I could watch. I've seen all those romantic type comedies, and he's done a great job with it. So if the trailer's any indication, it's going to be a great story.
Right.
For sure.
And that's my go-to movies or even sitcoms to watch on TV because life, as we all know, is not a bowl of cherries.
Oh, no,
and
not at all.
I know, and all you have to do is watch probably 15 minutes of the news and you're depressed.
Mm-hmm.
So when I sit down to enjoy myself, I want to laugh, and so I watch anything that's funny.
Oh, yeah, definitely, myself included.
Yeah.
I would, if I'm going to sit down and watch TV, and that I don't watch TV very often, but when I do, it is to watch something funny. I would much rather see that any day than some of the other stuff out there. So, if you can get me in front of the TV to sit down, then that's
I was
what
just going to say, you need to get on that.
I know. When I tell people I don't watch much TV, I know they look at me like, what is wrong with you? But then you know how busy I am in all areas of my life. So it's like for me, I don't think I have the time to sit down and watch TV. Now there's certain things I watch, but not very often. So gosh, I sit in front of the computer most of the day between my day job and this and everything else. So it's I figure if I ever want to see something, I just pull it up on the old laptop.
Well, you can have that going, too, while you're doing something else. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times that I'm, doing, like, even if I'm just tweeting or getting show things together or emailing or whatever, I have the TV on in the background, and you don't necessarily have to see a scene. You can just listen to it, and it'll crack you up. And, of course, that'll make your head turn like, what?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and, I don't know, there's just something about watching TV in real time when you know other people are. And honestly, and you're going to crack up when you hear me say this, but when I'm on Twitter, I'm on TweetDeck, and I'm seeing the tweets go by when everybody's favorite show's on, like Revenge or just any number of those. And you just see people constantly tweeting, interacting about storylines and it's even the daytime dramas, and I'm like living vicariously through these tweets going, oh, okay, so that's what so-and-so was talking about when they were talking about this,
Right.
Like the light bulbs go off and I'm like, oh, I haven't even watched it, but I'm understanding this. Okay. So that's kind of, that is kind of a weird way that I kind of get my TV without getting my TV, if there is such a thing. Maybe I could start a new trend,
Oh, my gosh, leave it to you.
I know, leave it to me. I'm such a dork. Go ahead and say it.
Yeah, I was going to say dork Dawn, but then I wasn't going to, so you did.
I know. Oh, you were being too kind indeed. Oh,
well, when there's something on TV that I can't watch because I'm doing an interview or something else, like, say, Revenge, where it's suspense and you don't want to find out what's going on via Twitter, I have to turn that off and then watch the show and then get back on.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's I know, in this world that we live in, and all the social media, and it's just a lot. It can be too much sometimes, and get into overload, social media overload. But then again, it's now a part of our life. I think back, when I was my kids' age growing up, and I mean, computers didn't even exist, and it's hard to think back to a day when computers didn't exist, and then to think, about things like social media and what we have now. I mean, back in the day, you called your friends on the phone. There was no texting.
Right.
It's funny how far we've come, and when I think about somebody like Juddy, who has written a screenplay, and it's now a movie, and he has all these different mediums through which to promote his movie. That is huge for him.
Right.
I mean, gosh, 2 decades ago, it was unheard of. Even a decade ago, it wasn't even, as popular as it is now. So it's just amazing what social media has allowed people to do.
Well, look at what Ricky Paul Golden said. That's how he got his show, Spontaneous Construction, going with, getting people on there to help him with this show was via social media, and mainly Twitter.
Yeah, I know. So. And what a great concept, too. I mean, you've got all these people you interact with on Twitter, someone like him, and it really paid off. I mean, the show is doing very well. So,
I wonder when the second episode is. I mean, I watched 2 in a row that they had a couple Fridays ago, but they didn't have any last week, so maybe they're working on another one. I know that he invited a lot of people to write letters so that maybe he can pick their house to come and fix. So I know I need to write my letter.
You better get it in then, Pam. Hey, make a video. I can do a few
rooms.
Well, I can do your media stuff from afar, but I cannot come to Illinois in a blizzard and do it, do the filming and all that stuff. So you're going to have to figure out that on your own and then get it to me somehow. We'll work it up from there.
Shucks.
I
also want to let our listeners know about a few new shows. I have started a new show, and it's called Take Two Radio Music, where I play indie music during the day. It's on at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Blog Talk. And for an hour or so, I play indie music from around the world. And I've played yesterday and today, so it's 5 days a week, 3 p.m. Eastern for about an hour. And hope you can join me. It's a lot of great music. A lot of it Dawn gave me, and I'm very grateful for that to get started.
I know. Well, it is good music, and as far as I'm concerned, it needs to be promoted and heard, and it doesn't matter how many mediums play it. It's great stuff. So it's
I know. Well, ever since I started this, now I'm getting a lot of bands following me and a lot of bands submitting MP3s, so I'm very happy about that.
Oh, yeah.
Doing a show 5 days a week, even though it's only an hour, you still need quite a few songs. And, yes, you can play songs, different songs from the same band, but you also want variety.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've listened to it both days, and kudos. You're doing a great job, and of course, I would say the music's great too, but since I was your source on that. No, seriously, that aside, I mean, the bands you've got and the artists that you've got that you're playing, mixed in with your own that you've added, it's all great music, and so far, both days, the show's been great, so, but I'm just pro-indie anyway. I love indie music, and I love the un-indie variety of music that you get out of the indie music market. And so I'm really glad that you took this on and decided to do this as well, because I think between the two of us, we are going to be able to give some good coverage to a lot of indie artists and bands out there.
Most definitely. And it was funny, too, because I had received a tweet with a video by a band, and I'm not going to say their name, but I was almost afraid to open it up only because sometimes by a name that you don't know what you're going to hear, like if you're going to hear a lot of screaming or something, And so let me tell you, Dawn, never be afraid. I opened up that video, and I'm in love with the band now.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to be playing them. I don't know if it's tomorrow or the next day, but I'm going to be playing one of their songs. But I'm astounded at how many bands and how many songs are out there that you have yet to hear, and I'm so happy to be able to share them with everybody.
Oh, yeah, and I'm glad you're doing it, too. There's only so much I can do on my show. You know what I mean? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. My show is not a talk show. It's just music, and so I want to make that clear.
Yeah, it's just strictly music. But, that's really what it's all about for these artists. I mean, they love being interviewed, but they, and people, so that they can share with people how they got started and why they do what they do. Because, a lot of people may not realize, or they may forget, that indies are working for nothing pretty much.
Right.
And so they are highly reliant on people buying their music through the various means, iTunes, CD Baby, all the different places that they have their music, because when they're selling their music, that's what the proceeds from any sales is what's helping make their next video or get back in the studio to make their next EP. And, they're not backed by a record company. I mean, that's why they're independent. I mean, and they would all love to be backed by a record company, and they should be. I mean, they're that good. But in truth, it is the reality of things. But in the meantime, they're not letting that stop them. They're putting out some awesome music, and some of the best I've heard, in a very long while.
And you can hear the dedication in their music. Now, it's funny because when I just said that it's not a talk show, it's a music show, earlier I had tweeted to one of the bands, that I was going to play their music tomorrow, and I said, you won't hear me talking a lot, I just play the music. And they tweeted back to me, no problem, let the music do the talking, same philosophy as us.
Well, let the music do the talking, and it's so true, because music is a universal language if you think about it.
Right.
It's the one thing, even though you're making it funny. In all seriousness, it is the one thing that people, no matter where they're from, their backgrounds, what have you, it is the one thing that unifies people and brings them together like nothing else. And no matter people's thoughts or differences or this and that, music it really speaks to people. And so I've always said, and I continue to say it, that the indie music world is the music industry's unintentional best-kept secret, because, the record labels are missing out. They have no idea what they're not tapping into. And if they were, I mean, they would be making a bunch of money, as would these artists, in my opinion. So, but in the meantime, we will keep playing and promoting them, and hope that the right set of ears hears it, and and some of these guys can get a good break.
Now I want you to tell them about your new show.
Oh, you do, huh? This is your show, and I'm telling them about my new show.
Oh, like you don't promote mine.
So I know, really. Well, I have a new show, and it's funny, and you those of you who are listening are going to just totally crack up, because it's like Pam and I are flip-flopping. But I'm going to try to do the same show that Pam is doing. It's something similar, not quite the same. I'm going to have celebrities on my show, but it won't be quite to the magnitude that Pam has on hers. Mine is going to be more focused towards trying to have guests on that inspire and motivate and have really good stories about, either a product or, themselves or something they've done or doing that has made a difference or is making a difference. And there's going to be a lot of that incorporated into my show. For right now, to start, it'll debut on March 11th, right here on Blog Talk Radio. The name of the show is Behind the Mic Radio. And so it's going to be at night for right now. Hopefully at some point I'll be able to move it to an afternoon show, but to start it will be in the evening. And I will still be doing my Jam and Jukebox radio show as well. So I'm going to be kind of busy, But that's just kind of my middle name, so it's just kind of what I am. But I'm really excited about it. I already have a couple guests lined up, and so Pam and I are just excited about all that's unfolding for both of us this year, respectively, in our shows, and the fact that we're still able to kind of be on each other's shows from time to time, and just, kind of help each other out and be a team. So we're hoping, as a team effort, we can cover a lot more ground and bring you a lot more artists and celebrities and, from all walks of the entertainment industry and society, and people that we think that you definitely will want to know about. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it. It's going to be quite